Over 50% of car dealerships in the U.S. recently got shut down by a cyber attack.
Hackers have targeted CDK Global. It's a software provider that 15,000 car dealerships rely on.
So here's the story. CDK, which is a large dealer management software company that handles over 50% of large dealerships in the U.S., they just got attacked by ransomware.
Oh, it's a disaster. I have to tell you, customers are coming in, consumers are coming in. You know, we're selling cars, but we can't book the deals. We can't finance the deals. We can't get them to the banks.
This dealer management software, it handles everything for these dealerships. Think inventory, payment processing, their service departments, ordering parts, everything. And all of that just got shut down, and it's affecting these dealerships in a major, major way. At this dealership right here, I just talked to a salesperson, and what they are having to do right now is literally do every sale by pen and paper. And I can tell you that there's a lot of salespeople, they are not going to be able to do this. Dealerships are losing sales right now because of this dealer management software shutdown.
As a result, auto dealership stocks, including Carvana, CarMax, and AutoNation, they got hit hard. Even shares of investment firm Brookfield Business Partners got clobbered.
So as a small used car dealer, let me tell you how these cyber attacks are affecting me. You see this 2022 Honda Civic I recently bought? Guess what? It needs a bumper. Yeah, and I can't get parts. The parts shop that I'm trying to get a bumper for on the Civic, they cannot get parts from the Honda dealership that they usually use because they use CDK as their dealer management software. So these parts that I need, I can't get them right now. I'm gonna have to wait weeks and weeks and weeks to probably get this bumper and get this car fixed and get it sold. And this is how it's affecting me. And these dealerships could lose $1 billion if these dealer management software isn't up in a timely manner.
According to analysis from the Anderson Economic Group, it estimates that financial losses from the outage could be at least $944 million.
So here's the other portion of the car market that this cyber attack is hitting. It's parts, it's service. So right now these dealerships, they cannot get parts because how do you order them? You ordering through this dealer management software. So get ready for all your used parts, all your new parts. They're all going to be more expensive for the foreseeable future because there's going to be a massive, massive backlog on people that need them to get their cars fixed. So now here's the problem for CDK. Even if they get their systems back on in a timely manner, even if they pay the ransom and they get all their data back, whatever, everything's well and good. Well, you know what? They have cost people a lot of money because their systems were not protected. So there's going to be lawsuits from every angle, so much so that it might take CDK under. You're going to have dealerships that are suing them because of loss of sales. You're going to have mechanic shops that are suing them because they couldn't get parts. You're going to have all of these manufacturers potentially suing them because they're not getting vehicles to their dealerships because they have to turn down allocations because they weren't able to sell at the back end of June and the front end of July. And this is a massive, massive deal because a way a lot of these dealerships make a lot of money is from the manufacturer. See, if they hit their sales goals, if they hit their numbers, then the manufacturer will cut them a big fat check at the end of the month. But if we're going to take 50% of the month away from a lot of these dealerships so they can't sell cars, then guess what? They're not going to hit their numbers. And that could be the difference of them getting a check cut from the manufacturer for $200,000. Yes, they're that much. Or $0. These dealerships are losing a ton of money because of the cyber attack. So here's the scary thing for our economy and really just the world in general. So United Health, which is a healthcare benefits company, they recently paid because their systems were hacked.
Earlier this year, a ransomware group disrupted payment and claims processing for United Health's Change Healthcare. It was reported they ultimately paid the ransom, about $22 million.
And now CDK, they're having to pay to be able to get their data back from these cyber attackers. These cyber attackers continue to win and they continue to get paid. So they're not going to stop. This is going to be something that keeps going and going and going. It's going to keep getting worse. It's so bad that there is actually a job out there to negotiate against these cyber attackers. So there are brokers that come in and will negotiate on CDK's behalf. And these cyber attackers, they know that they're going to get paid. So when they get paid, they turn over the data. There's kind of a code of ethics around these cyber attackers. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's there because if they don't turn over that data whenever they get paid, then they're not going to get paid the next time. But they're following the rules. So companies are paying them to actually get this done, and it's going to be something that continues to happen over and over and over again, and it's going to get worse. So we know it already takes forever for you to be able to buy a car in a dealership. They already have so much paperwork, but now with all this pen and paper going on, we've seen reports of some of these sales taking 6 hours. Think about sitting in that dealership.
The Einholzes waited too until their sales transaction was finished, driving off in that new SUV some 6 hours after they arrived.
At a desk for 6 hours just to be able to buy a car. This is what a lot of people are having to go through right now if they want to purchase a vehicle. So now a ton of these dealerships have been reduced to, if they want to stay in business right now and actually make sales, they're reduced to actually going to pen and paper. And I can tell you that all this technology that that businesses use, even that we use on a personal basis, has made us really dumber. And I can tell you that these salespeople, they have no clue how to make a sale on pen and paper anymore. You know what? There's going to be one salesperson in the whole organization of these dealerships. He's going to be about 65 years old. Be like, oh, I've been in the car business for 55 years. Since I was 10 years old, I could sell a car. That's going to be the one dude that's going to be able to actually make these sales for a dealership. All of these sales are going to have to go through that one dude. His name's Walter. He's got like 3 teeth. Nice guy, but he's old, right? And on top of lawsuits coming from these dealerships, from mechanics, from parts suppliers, all these manufacturers, consumers are now starting to sue CDK because their information has now been put in the wrong hands because of CDK's lack of maintaining their own security. All right, and here's one of the quotes from the actual lawsuits. It says, just as a wound not properly cleaned would lead to more infections and prolonged healing, CDK's rush to restore its system led to more breaches and, in turn, left car dealerships exposed to financial losses for longer periods of time. And even a dealership like mine, it's only been maybe 5-6 years ago that we've actually gone to a computer system, a dealer management software that we use. We, for the first 6-7 years of me being in business, all pen and paper, and when we were done with the file, done with the sale, we would put it in an envelope and throw it in a box, and that was our management software, literally that. So it takes a lot for car dealers to want to change the way things are, the way the things that they're doing, just because it works. Why change it, right? That's the mentality of an old man, and I myself have that grandfather syndrome too. Call it grandfather syndrome because that's where I learned a lot of what I do in my business. You write down everything, you put it in this exact envelope, you file it away. That's grandfather syndrome. That's what he did, so that's what I did. It works, right? So here's the thing. It's actually going to be years before we know exactly what happened, exactly what was taken. So CDK hasn't even released if the hackers were able to get customers' info, so personal data. We're not sure if the hackers have access to that. So we're not going to find out this later on until all the lawsuits are settled, everything is released, and a lot of this litigation is going to hold up a lot of the information. So it's going to be a long time before we know exactly who was affected, how many people were affected, how much money was lost, and what the situation is going to be going forward. It's going to be a long time before we find this out. So you can imagine right now the morale at these dealerships is absolutely at zero. They were already having a hard time selling vehicles, so the morale was already low as it is. The sales staff, these salesmen that make money by selling cars, they're on commission. They only get paid when they sell cars. Now they can't sell cars. So what are they going to do? A lot of them just go home. They're not covering their shifts, and they can't bring any money in. So a lot of them, they're just standing around, or if they're not standing around, they're just going home. So this cyber attack too is not just affecting really the employees in the dealership. Think about like delivery drivers for parts. So just saw one recently that said he was going to look for another job because if a hacker can take away his job, then he has no security in what he's doing. And a lot of these employees, they can't do anything. They're at a standstill point right now. And on top of that, CDK handles a lot of the payroll that is going through a lot of these dealerships. So you have the salespeople that can't sell cars. You have F&I that's not doing deals. You have mechanics that can't get parts to fix cars. You have parts delivery drivers that have no parts to deliver. All right, so if you were actually thinking about buying a car now while all this mess is going on, in my opinion, I would wait just a little bit. Even if the systems come back online, I still want to give these dealerships some time to get back up to speed, to get their inventory sorted out, to get any sales that they may have handwritten, just the double check. Because dealerships, even when their systems are online, they make mistakes. Just recently, my wife and I bought a new vehicle, and they sent us home with the wrong vehicle. Now, we got the van that we actually wanted, but the paperwork that they gave us was for a different VIN than the one that we actually purchased. So even with all their systems being up and great, dealerships will still make mistakes. So especially if the systems are down, I don't want any salesperson handwriting my info down to be able to sell me a car. I don't trust them to get it right. And even when the systems do come back online, they're going to need some time to make sure everything's right, everything's flowing smoothly. So just give them some time. Wait it out. Let them get it figured out. And two, if you can wait a little bit towards the end of July, they might need to hit some numbers, so you might even get a better deal at the end of July than you would right now. So just let's be patient. Let's let them figure it out, and then you can go in and potentially buy if you're ready to buy. I still hold the same message though, is that if you can wait, the longer you can wait, the better your price is going to be. But now the add-ons, the market adjustments, everything's knocked off, and you can get some deals out there under MSRP. But the longer you wait, the better it'll be for you. And as of today, when you're watching this video right now, all the systems are supposed to be back up, but we're seeing reports that even though the systems are back up, they're running super slow. This is going to be a problem that we're going to, in my opinion, stick with us for the next 2 to 3 months, and then we have no clue what the aftershocks are going to be from this shutdown. It's going to be bad, and it's going to continue to get worse, because guess what? Something like this is going to happen absolutely again. The car market, their tech is so far behind everything else, and now we see that the car market, the car industry, these car dealerships, these DMS companies, they're all vulnerable, and it's just going to keep affecting us. CDK, which is a large dealer management software company, over 50% of the let's start this one over. Everything that what do you call them, plaintiffs, biggest lawsuit, this is standard,